Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Pemko number 110D. This is a dark bronze anodized aluminum threshold. Okay, this is a slightly less common sort of threshold because it is an interlock threshold. And I will, in the process of this video, say how elegant I think interlocking thresholds are to solving the need to secure a door. Okay. First of all, the principle of an interlocking threshold is that there is a mechanical connection between the door and the sill or the threshold. Okay, and that's achieved by some variation of a hook strip that you see here and a lip on a threshold that is here. Now this is called a J hook. If you use your imagination, you can see why. Okay, it is attached to the bottom of the door, and there's variations on these. There's L-shaped. You can mount this flush to the bottom of the door, or you can mortise it up into the door a bit so that you can achieve a tighter margin from the top of the door, the bottom of the door to the sill itself, especially in the back side, of course. But this gets nailed exclusively on the bottom of the door. That's a white coat galvanized steel that you see there. It's just a steel base with a white coat galvanized on it. And when it's nailed to the bottom of the door and the door closes, it makes a mechanical connection like that. Okay? Now that is an incredibly effective way to seal the bottom of the door, and it's incredibly long lasting as well. So it's effective and very long lasting, and that certainly makes it elegant. You don't have a door sweep that's being dragged across the bottom of a floor or getting unintentionally damaged or fatiguing on its own. I have personally witnessed interlocking thresholds that have been installed for decades and quite frankly work the way they did when they were first put in. The only sort of downside to them, which is actually their upside, is that you might get some unintentional damage on a hook strip. Someone leaves a shoe in front of the door and you pull the door closed over it. You could damage your hook strip. You might have a replacement. You replace the door. Well, you can't really pull the hook strip off the bottom of the door easily, so you'll buy a new hook strip. So can they get damaged unintentionally? They can, and people buy hook strips separately. Not often. But the point of the matter is they're inexpensive and easy to replace. They're held on with nails, and those nails you can see here, just typical tiny little nails. So that's what makes it easier, quite frankly, just to buy a new hook strip should you end up needing one, than you would trying to pull it off the bottom of a door. So that mechanical connection is what makes that seal down there, okay? Real effective, that interlock sort of situation. Now this is the type of interlock. It would be intended, of course, for an in-swinging door. You could also use the L-shaped interlock, which is generally surface mounted to the face of the door and would hook in this way. Obviously your door swings in, so that L shape would mount to the face of the door with the hook going in into the recessed area. Now there are interlocking thresholds from Pemko that feature a weep hole sort of situation. Not on this one, because the dam that's back here is profiled such, but there are higher thresholds that have a dam that's built up and then a trough down in here. Well, what will happen is, and you could do it with this one, I don't believe it would give any benefit at all, is a hole would be drilled in the trough down in there. Two holes, one here and one at the other end, and then they would file the face of this ever so slightly so that if any water got in the trough, it would exit back out. That brings me to an option that you have to select. Select water pan, it's called. Water pans are either aluminum sheet metal or they're brass sheet that are very inexpensive pieces of material. Just a piece of sheet metal that's got a little bend in it that you would place on top of the sill that the threshold would then seat on top. That would be appropriate for a situation where you expected water and you may not want water pooling directly on top of limestone or a wood sill, so that aluminum most likely aluminum or brass water pan will help prevent that. And if it's a water return type or a weep hole type, you would want that water to get in there and hit the drip pan and come, or the water pan and come back out, should any actually get in. Okay. This threshold is available in the anodized aluminum finish as well. Dark bronze, that's what the D stands for. And of course gold anodized. Now, everything important dimensionally about this threshold is shown down below. And you can see from that, this is a tiny threshold in terms of the width. Not tiny, but it's on the small side. Okay, 3.5 inch. And you got a 5/8 inch overall height. And that's pretty common. If I was going to be prepping my door, I would want my undercut to be, you know, about 3/4 inch or, you know, 11/16, right in there. Enough room to get that hook strip installed and nailed to the bottom of the door. You can see that the bird's mouth preparation there is very wide. So that's, you'll have an 1/8 of an inch tolerance in there for sure. So I would think you could get away with, you know, 1/8 of an inch beyond the 5/8. Available in several different lengths as well. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field what length you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is if you had to take this 36 inch piece and cut it back to say 30 inch, you'd eliminate that countersink there. Then the next one's all the way over here in the middle, so you're stuck drilling another countersink. And speaking of countersinks, screws are included. Just like a number 10 by 1.25 inch flathead wood screw. So it's not handy to drill another hole unless unless it's not an issue, I suppose. But if you ordered a custom length, we'll not only locate that first countersink at the proper distance from the edge, but the proper center to center as well. Pemko is a comprehensive manufacturer of all things weather stripping related, not only less common interlocking thresholds like this, but perimeter gasketing, door sweeps, automatic door bottoms. Material made of aluminum like this one, architectural bronze, stainless steel as well. If you have any questions on the Pemko number 110D interlocking threshold or any other Pemko product, please feel free to reach out to us.